I was thinking about life, how hard it is, especially in those high school years when you're trying to figure out who you are, like what you stand for, your identity, what you're gonna do in your future. And in that time, a lot of us, like myself, get sucked into different groups of where do I fit in. When I was in high school, I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I stood for. I didn't know where I was going in my life. So it was really easy for me to get stuck in these different groups who weren't very healthy. Because if you don't get clear on what you stand for, you start to get sucked in, and bad company corrupts good character, and you start just to become a part of the still people or the just enough type of people. Well, those people who are doing just enough to get by, those people who are still complaining, those people who are still broke, that are still nowhere, that are still making excuses and blaming circumstances and people for not really doing what they said they would do, and those people who keep talking about the good old days and the stuff that they used to do, and they're not producing results anymore, they're not growing. It's really easy to get sucked into those types of people, and this is why it's really important for you to get clear on who you are and what you stand for and where you're going and why you're going there, because otherwise you're going to get sucked into those people, or you're going to start to waste your time with those people. And this is why we have to make a decision. So I want to challenge you to take responsibility for, I'm going to stand for something. I know who I am now, I'm going to stand for this. And if you're not going to come with me, if you're not on the same path, then you know what, we need to part ways. And sometimes this is hard. Sometimes it's people, it's your friends, it's your best friends, it's your family. And I know for myself, when I started to decide of what I stood for and start to separate myself from those people who are just enough, those still type of people, they started to make fun of me. Like, oh, who are you? Like, oh, Richard thinks he's all cool now, like he's better than us. And I had to be clear because it didn't feel good. But this is what happened. Your repetition becomes your reputation, and they started to watch me. And instead of, hating on me, they begin to respect me. So I want to encourage you to make a decision. Who are you spending that time with? Because if it's people who are not growing, they're either dead or dying, because things that don't grow, they're either dead or dying. Do something very practical. You can go to your social media and start to look through and start to look at all these different friends and pick people who are not in alignment with where you're going, people who don't have the same values, don't have the same goals, and start to remove. Start to remove. And you're going to start to see how good it feels, because you're making a decision to be clear on where you're going and cut out the people who are not going with you. That's just one simple thing that you can do. If you want to learn more, go to riseprograms.com.